With that, let's get started. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the owner and co-founder of Dressing Room Made, a coaching and consulting platform for women entrepreneurs, freelancers, creatives who are looking for innovation in their personal lives, their business, and how they just approach just life generally. And I do anything from social media, like events like this, to hosting, to public speaking, to coaching, consulting. The list goes on and on. But what brings me here today for StyleForit is I am their brand ambassador, which has been really, really fun. That happened earlier, I believe this year, I think summer. And I've been doing these videos every month. We do about 2 a month, and we have different topics. If you catched our last live, it was with Faith Costa. And that was amazing because it was really about talking about how to start the new year the right way. So if you didn't catch that, please go to facebook.com/StyleForit and you'll catch the video there. Also, if you go to StyleForit.com, and I'll put that at the end of this, you can go to the website where you can also see that you can click on the YouTube link at the top or button, and you'll be able to access all our previous videos and see other type of content that StyleForit's all about. And if you're not familiar with what StyleForit is, happy to share. It's the first online plus size consignment platform dedicated to women who wear sizes 12 to 32. So consignment, first ever plus size, sizes 12 to 32. So pretty impressive, guys. And what's really cool about it is that you can You can buy new or freshly used clothing from women all over the country and even Canada as well. You can sell your own clothing, consignment, guys. So for all of you who have lots and lots of items in your closet hanging and you're not wearing, I suggest you sell it so you can make money. Because that's amazing, right? Making money off of money you've already spent. I like it. I like the way that sounds. So go to StyleForit.com. And that's where you can do that. You can open up your own shop. It's completely free to join. And again, first plus size online consignment platform for plus size women, sizes 12 to 32. So where do you go? StyleForit.com. And I'll make sure to include that at the end of our program. And today, what are we talking about? We're covering 12 best lessons of 2018. That, from my perspective, right? As the brand ambassador for the company, I do a lot, right? So I was mentioning obviously, well, if you don't know, I'm plus size. So as a plus size woman, my narrative is affected by being plus size, right? The world that we live in treats women who are of a different background or who are marginalized, like plus size women, like Black women, right? All of us have different narratives. So as a plus size woman, as a woman of color, as a blogger, as an influencer, as an entrepreneur, as a public speaker, as a writer, I wanted to sit down with you guys and kind of share what were the 12 best lessons that I learned, because you might similarly feel like you share that lesson as well this year. Maybe you didn't, and this is a great opportunity for us to communicate that. So all I ask is that you join in this fun. If you have commentary that you'd like to add, please put them in the comments so that we can make this as conversational as possible. And please share this video because I really think it can really help and impact a lot of different people. So I'm just going to count on you to help with that, and we'll get started. So 12 lessons. Let's get started. Number one with a bullet, I would say, is I would kind of reduce it to the phrase, I matter. So what do I mean by that? My mind, my body, my soul matters. If you believe in those things. For me, again, I can only give you my perspective, my narrative. I believe in those things. And what I learned this year is I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism in May, right? And so what does that mean is that my thyroid is essentially functioning less effective than it could be. So I have to take medication every single day so that my thyroid produces the right amount of hormones that I need that help with metabolism, sleep, everything. Your thyroid actually has like 12 different impacts on your body. It's like, didn't know this and was totally living with the consequence of this. So my health became like, woohoo, really important. Because when you don't have health, you're not really living well. So that was super important. My mind. right? I spend a lot of time doing content, working with my clients, and people are talking about they're either mental health advocates, they're dealing with mental health issues. So your mind matters. How stable, how calm, how comfortable you feel in your life, in your body matters. And it matters because we all have lives to live, right? We're moms, we're sisters, we're daughters. We have jobs to hold, we have things to do in this world. And if we're not feeling okay here, what's going to happen? It's going to get played out in our life. So that really was, I think, very key lesson that I learned this year as well. And then also just like, again, we all have different belief systems, but for me, spiritually, I would say the more time and energy that I invested in consuming things that made me spiritually comfortable, spiritually sound, spiritually innovated, I felt better in my life. And feeling better, to me, I would say I have seen that the more that you feel well, the better life that you can live. So ultimately, I matter. Mind, body, and soul. I matter every single day. And you have to remember that. And you even can say that to yourself as a wonderful opportunity for you to promote positive behavior for you and what you're doing in your life. Next, I would say, and this kind of ties in with number 1, which is what you think matters and gets played out into your life, right? So one thing that I would say for this is a lot of times we all struggle with a negative narrative. So what do I mean by that? So sometimes, just going to adjust this, sometimes you're living your life and, you either hear that negative bully who's like, you can't do anything, or this won't work out, or he's going to say this and right? And essentially, depending upon if you believe in the law of attraction and like The Secret, and if you don't know what I mean, put that in the comments. I'm happy to talk to you about that on a deeper level. But I'm a practitioner of The Secret. I'm a practitioner of the law of attraction, and I believe in it strongly and heavily. And I would say that even me, as much as I believe in that, I sometimes, because I grew up with a lot of negativity in my life, sometimes it still creeps in you're thinking you want to do something. And sometimes you get this thought, right? Oh, this will never happen. Or, oh, this might not work out. Or you get unexpected mail and the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, it's something negative. Oh, it's a problem, right? And that's actually probably one of the biggest negative narrative pieces that I deal with on a more consistent basis. And I'm trying to understand where that's coming from. And I think I would say I've narrowed it down to childhood and kind of people in my life that are more negatively influenced than positively. And so that narrative is still has a bit of a hold. And so I'm trying to reverse engineer it and really force myself to say, nope, I don't know what's in this envelope. I'm not going to assume that it's negative. I don't know what the person has to say. I'm not going to assume that it's negative, right? And so that's one of the negative narratives that I'm dealing with. But just remember and start to think about what are the thoughts that you're thinking, and then how are they correlating into the life that you're living, right? If you always assume something's not going to work out, and then you constantly are dealing with fire after fire, negative no's, a negative narrative in your life, have you ever thought your thoughts had a connection to the life you're living? And if not, this is a great opportunity for you to start to think about that and start to unravel, right? And start to make a change, because we all can make a change so that we live the best life that we have and that we want. Next, saving money not only feels good, but it makes sense, right? So that's why I love being a brand ambassador for StyleForit. Again, go to StyleForit.com if you have not totally heard of this platform. First online platform, consignment platform dedicated to plus size women, sizes 12 to 32. So what's cool about shopping here is that you're going to be able to shop really nice brands. I can attest to that. I have personally bought several Michael Kors items that were not Michael Kors pricing, which I like. And guess what? That makes sense. I want fashion. I need a lot of different clothes for a lot of different videos and events that I'm doing. So I constantly need to upgrade the wardrobe, upgrade, right? But I don't need my wallet to break while we're doing this. So what do I like to do? I like to utilize platforms and services that allow me to save money, and StyleForit is definitely one of them. As a plus size girl myself, I myself have been able to utilize the service. So I encourage you, as you think about 2019 and your financial savings and kind of what do you want to do different and what do you want to achieve in the new year, saving money not only feels good, but it makes sense. And how can you do that with your fashion choices? How can you do that with your beauty choices? How can you do that with education? ... Right? Go down the list of your expenditures for your life and think about how you can save money. And curvy women, sizes 12 to 32, y'all know you need to come up on StyleForit.com, save money, open up a shop, make money, right? Save money, make money, like it's like a rap song. So get with it, ladies, get with it. Next on my list of lessons learned is, I would say, making an investment in your beauty regimen would not only can give you a great sense of like satisfaction, but it helps give you a polished, great impression. And I'm going to talk about great impressions a little bit later. But as someone who started like exploring beauty later in my life, I didn't start playing with makeup and stuff until I was about 23, 24 years old. So much later in life. And I realize now, taking time to understand how to apply makeup, taking time to understand quality, what quality makeup is, what kind of beauty regimen that works well for my skin, it not only made me feel kind of like I was taking me time and I was caring for myself, which again, what did I start with? Number one, I matter. Mind, body, soul, I matter. So that one really made me feel good, because now you should see I have like a treasure chest of beauty items. Actually, like it's extremely heavy to pick up my beauty case. But I'm super like floored with the idea that I now have multiple different products that I first start with in just like getting the face ready, right? Much less the mascara, the this, that, and the other. So just think about how your beauty regimen is playing a role in making the impression that you want to make. And we will finish off that how to make a great impression a little bit later. Next, life is better the more that you read. So this year alone, I think I read over 62 books, and I probably would say that's the most that I've read probably ever. Maybe there might have been a year as a kid where I maybe read like a little bit more. I've always been an avid reader. Thank you to my parents for enforcing that. But for me, reading makes life better, because why? I can learn more about business, marketing, sales, art, music, history, hip hop, right? Poetry, any subject of choice that I choose to read about, but it also gives me time. You matter, I matter. And for me, there's nothing that makes me feel more relaxed and happier than reading. So that was super important. Then next, I would say it forces you to confront certain ideas and narratives that you have in your life through the author's eyes, through the author's narrative, right? So if you're reading about feminism, if you're reading about politics, if you're reading about money, you have to then confront certain ideas that you carry around with you against what you're reading, right? And it's forcing you to get intellectually honest with yourself. It's forcing you to get intellectually challenged with what you are consuming. And it can also inspire you to make different choices, to be the best version of yourself. So I really encourage you to say, as 2019 approaches us very quickly, guys, how is my reading regimen going to change and or be different for 2019? Because the more you read, the better your life will be. And if you don't believe me and you're like, I don't know, Natasha, you might just be a book nerd. Yes, for sure. Total book nerd, for sure. But second, Warren Buffett, if you don't know who he is, one of the richest people on this planet, reads excessively every single day. Why? Because he wants to make money, first of all. But secondly, I think he, amongst many other people who constantly tote about the power of reading, have lived it, right? Have benefited from this narrative. So I encourage you to do the same. Next on the list, networking is not only good for you, but it's good for your soul. It's good for your soul, guys. Why do I say this? Every single job I have ever had, it's come from networking. It's come from a conversation, with or without my silver hat. So I encourage you to understand not only the power of networking, but to apply it to your life. This is what can help you level up in your career. This can help you meet a new person in your life. This can help you start a business. It can help you up your fashion game, right? Networking is the key to professional and personal success. It's not the only key, but it is a big key, ladies and gentlemen, big key. So I have not only learned that this year, because it's a lesson that I learn every year, I would say, networking. I would say this year I try to network even more outside of my own industry, and I saw the value of that. And I will add to that lesson that, guys, network outward, upward, around, in circles. Don't just stick to what you're comfortable with, right? So you're like, oh, Tasha told me to network. Yes, but with people you don't know as well as people you do know, and people outside of your industry. Super important, guys. Super, super important. Next, clear intentions help cut out nonsense in your personal life and in business. So I say this because the more that this year, I would say the more that I got really honest, intellectually honest with myself. And I said, Natasha, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want out of this conversation? What do I want out of my life? The more that I did that on a consistent basis, the more that I was able to cut out the bull. Cut the bull out. So I would say I really actually appreciated this lesson learned because it saved me time. When we're not clear, what does that mean? We're going to have yielded outcomes that are not in line with what we want. Why? Because you didn't know what you wanted. So, I mean, it's kind of like, it makes sense, right? It's a logical, like if I don't know what I'm doing, then I continue to act. I will have outcomes that make no sense. Da, 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 da. Right? Go write a love song about it, right? Like it doesn't make any sense. So get clear, get very, very clear. And when I say this, I don't say this like get clear every quarter, like of the year. Like, oh, it's January, I'm going to be clear. Next time I'll get clear is like April. No, boom, boom. Be clear every day. Be clear with what you say. Be clear with what you do, who you spend time with, all of that. Clarity. Clarity, clarity, clarity should be the name of the game every single day, every single week, every single month. So that's a lesson I learned because it helped me save time. It helped me get clear about who I want, who I don't want in my life. It helped me get clear about what do I want, what do I don't want, right? And open up the idea to how I can live a better life, a more fuller life. So get clear. That's a big lesson I learned this year. Next. And this is something I actually want to talk about more in the new year as just like additional content that I want to kind of put out in all the different places that you'll see me. I do a lot, guys. Do a lot. I didn't even get to mention podcaster as well, right? So I do a lot. And with that, I come across and speak with a lot of different people in different arenas of their life, right? And so one thing that seems weird to me is this concept that people say, like, I didn't know how to do this, so I didn't get started. I didn't know how to speak to this, like who to speak to, so I didn't get started. This, I don't know, or, I'm struggling and the government isn't helping. Like you can put any kind of like fill in the blank there. And you know what? I've come to realize that the lesson being learned there is that you have to be your own savior. There is no person coming on a white horse to save you. If you are struggling with fill in the blank, poverty, body image, self-esteem, money, like anything, you have got to figure out a way to save yourself. The world isn't built in a way where it's here to save you, but yet it's built in a way where we are here to save ourselves. And I realized this for myself in that, even me, I would say one of the biggest struggles I deal with in my life is that and I think a lot of people do, is that we all are products of our environment, right? So we grow up and then all we do is then harp on all the things that our parents messed up with, right? Or family members did. And then we use that as an excuse to say, well, I can only do this because this is how I was raised. I can only do this. That's bull. First and foremost. So let's get intellectually honest. That's bull. And then secondly, you are the master of your fate, meaning if your life is a book, you are the author. No one else is writing in this book, baby. So if you want to continue to write the same old sad story over and over again, and you want to use that as your story, and that's your story, you're absolutely welcome to do so. But I dare you to say, if you want a different story, if you want a different narrative for your life, you cannot look to the left and right. It's not going to happen, darling. You have got to pick yourself up. So for me, one of the biggest challenges I always have struggled with my entire life is physical fitness. I never wanted to do it as a kid. As an adult, I struggle with enjoying it. I do. I have to be honest about it, right? But I like feeling more powerful. I like feeling more energized. I like the idea that I can move and that I am extending my life. So what do I have to do? Do I hold on to the narrative that like, I didn't like exercising my entire life and I'm not going to do it because that's who I am. I'm a sedentary person. And you know, if I continue to develop more health conditions because of this, is that okay? Right? Or do I cut the bull and I say, that was yesterday. What the hell am I doing today? Right? Where am I going today? So I encourage you to say, hey, if you are unhappy with something, you've got to make the change. There is no one coming from the left or the right or in front or in back to save you. You have to save yourself. So that's a deep one. That's a harsh one. I'm not gonna lie. It's a harsh one because a lot of times we have content that indicates that like, oh, people fundraised and they helped. Baby, you've got to start, right? Even if you're raising a fundraiser, you've got to start it. You've got to post the GoFundMe page, right? Like you have got to save yourself always. So that was a lesson that I learned this year. And I think that that's probably going to come into many, many years, if not my entire life, because I think you need those reminders that like, if you have a problem, it is not up to anyone else to fix it. You've got to fix it. Next. Okay, and we're just coming into time, so it's good. Happiness. Happiness is one of the best ways that we have emotions that we have that really make what? That make life living it really, really good. So when I speak to people, and you would be surprised, you might be one of these people actually. You can put in the comments if you feel free to share that you may or may not know what makes you happy. You may or may not spend time doing things that make you happy. You may or may not know or feel worthy of happiness. Those are all really sad statements, right? Because why? You matter. I started that with number 1, and it's going to continue on the themes for all the rest of the lessons, guys. If you matter, does your happiness not matter? Hell yes, it matters, right? Does feeling good in your body, in front of the mirror, with clothes, without clothes, you've got to feel happy. Because why? If you're happy, then you can start writing that book. If you're happy, you can start that song that you want to make. If you're happy, you can start that business. If you're happy, you can go for that promotion at the job. If you're happy, you can go to that, event, maybe meet the partner of your life. You can start a family. Happiness is a big part of why we do what we do, and it makes us feel more satisfied. And we feel that level of satisfaction helps what? Propel us forward in life. So when I hear people close to me, not close to me, tell me that they struggle with not feeling happy, not knowing what makes them happy, not spending enough time being and doing things that make them happy, I question why they want to live, because it ultimately, to me, it seems like you're doing a disservice to yourself. Happiness is a part of life, and we all deserve to be happy. That is a lesson that we have to hold on to every single year. I deserve to be happy. I'm worthy of happiness. And what am I doing specifically? This is where the tactical action comes in. What am I doing on a daily basis to be happy? So for me, I learned I needed to create a happiness checklist, which I've gone and shared with my clients. That's what you guys have to do, right? If you think about happiness as a concept, it's too abstract. Let's get tactical. Let's get practical. What does that logistically mean? What does happy mean to you? For me, I can tell you it means reading. It definitely means napping. Definitely means shopping. Eating does bring me happiness, guys. It does. I don't know if I'll always feel that way, but currently eating makes me happy. Also, I would say really like achieving goals, like being productive, public speaking makes me happy, being innovative, creative, doing art. I never did art as much as I should have done, and I didn't explore as much as a child, so I've been really actively trying to change that narrative as an adult. Those are things that make me happy. Movies, film, television, oh gosh, like music, dancing. So those are super easy, right? I didn't say a Lamborghini. I didn't say, oh, I need to hike up Mount, Kilimanjaro. Like those are super easy. No, granted, if those things make you happy, yeah, have at it. But for me, those are things that I can do in the comfort of my home very freely and very easily. So I challenge you to say, create your happiness list and make sure that as we go into the new year, you really are tactically putting and implementing those happy checklist items into your daily existence, because you will see a change. The more that I said I got non-negotiable about, hey, Natasha, I've got to read every day, I got so much happier. Reading makes me extremely happy. So if I'm reading every day, what does that mean? I'm having joy every day. That makes sense, right? So I'll leave you with that. Be happy. I dare you to be happy. That's a big lesson learned. Next, making a great impression is a part of how you can get heard in this world. So remember earlier when I said a lesson learned was networking is not only good for you, but it's good for the soul. So making a great impression is what? Tied to networking. So as we go and we have online opportunities, in-person opportunities to network, what impression are we making, right? So the better impression we make, what does that likely mean? It means your voice gets heard. It means that you can accomplish deals, that you can make new business deals, that you can get a new job, that you can develop new relationships. So making a great impression isn't just for like the kicks and giggles of life, but it actually allows you, it helps you facilitate whatever you want that networking, like kind of, opportunity to bring forth for you. So for me, I would say networking has allowed me to have more media exposure. Networking has offered new business opportunities. Networking has forced me to confront things that I need to develop for myself, right? So it's been good for the soul. It's good for the mind, but it's also brought me new opportunity for the business. So that is why I love it, but you have to think about the impression we're making. What do I mean by how to make a great impression? If you're interested in seeing a video about that from StyleForit, definitely let me know. As a brand ambassador, I'm putting together ideas for content that we're offering every month for our community that we're building. So let me know if that's something that's important to you. But I would say it's not only the face, right? Not only the hair, not only the outfit, but it's also the spirit, right? How you come to conversations, what type of energy you're bringing to things. What are you actually saying? What type of storytelling are you sharing with the world? But also how you sound, right? Some of the most interesting conversations I've had with people are people who are completely miserable with the idea of networking. They completely hate it, and you can tell in how they speak and what they say and how they say it. It's a hot mess. So guys, proper networking is important for you to what? Make a great impression and then build off of that. So that's that. And we're nearly done because yeah, we're coming down on time, guys. Okay. Next one I would say is you really want to think about what the connection you have with community. So what do I mean by that? Kind of giving and receiving. I think this year I really recognize kind of the difference between people who want to give and people who are out here only asking for something. They're only here to take. So the givers versus the takers. So in life, what do you need to do? You have to give and take. It's not one or the other, but there are some people who love to just be predominantly takers. For instance, just recently, I met a person and the first thing pretty much out of their mouth was, hey, how can I hire them? How can I give them an opportunity? And I understand the hustle for sure. I get it. We all have to do it, right? Whether you have a multi-million-dollar conglomerate or you have a small business and you're trying to, get to make more money. I encourage you in this world for you to come off as a genuine and a person interested in building proper relationship, to not just literally come up to me or any person and just be like, oh, how can I give you money, right? Because is that making a great impression? No, it's making the impression that you only want money, that you only want things, that you're not interested in developing some type of community relationship, right? So I just encourage people to think about what we put out into the world is what we get. So if you're out here and you're just like, take, then don't be mad when people want to do that to you, right? Because that's what life is about. And really, to be honest, we have to, if a person comes up to you, a quick example. If someone comes up to you, right, and they're like, how can I be in service of you? You take a step back and you're like, wow, that's a really generous offer. That's beautiful, right? Versus someone comes up to you and they say, hey, how can you give me a job? Right? No words. No words, just thoughts right there, right? So just think about that. How can you be in service of others and see what type of abundance flows from that, instead of always being, hey, what money you got for me? What job you got for me? Just think about that. Then lastly, this is a lesson that I've struggled with as well as many people I know. Be kind to yourself, guys. So for this year, I've, been working on my health, but sometimes I go through things where, I get discouraged or I fall off and stuff like that. And then what? We shame ourselves. We're mean to ourselves. We say nasty things. We feel defeated, ... Let's come from a place of kindness. Let's be kind to ourselves. And hopefully from that, we can what? We can develop the action plan in place needed to get back on the horse, to go forward with the idea, to ... Fill in the blank. But most importantly, be kind to you. You have one body, you have one mind, you have one soul. It is up to you to protect and honor it. So I've realized that even when I'm challenged and I'm dealing with an obstacle, and maybe I'm not overcoming it, maybe I'm struggling with it, the kinder I am to me, the more that I'm likely to succeed. But the meaner and nastier I am to me, which is very easy for me because I am someone who has struggled with perfectionism in the past. And I've now kicked that bucket because perfection is a fiction. It doesn't exist, right? That's what I teach my clients. That's what I apply in my life. But again, I had coming from a negative narrative from my childhood where it's like, how dare you not be more productive? How dare you think you can't accomplish, right? Like all this crap. So what do? I breathe, take a deep breath, and say something kind to yourself. Say something loving to your body. Say something loving to you so that you feel loved enough to succeed at what you want. So those are my lessons, guys. I hope that really resonated with you. We're about a little bit over, so I'll just wrap this up quickly for you. So as we approach 2019, woohoo! Did you see the hat, guys? This is fabulous. Fabulous, guys. It's always about fashion. Always got to bring it back to fashion, guys. It's super important. About the impression, right? So get clear on what you want in 2019. If you didn't feel like you had the most clarity this year, make a change, right? It's up to you to make it. So get clear on what you want to accomplish in 2019. Next, utilize platforms like StyleForit. Go to StyleForit.com for you to save money, for you to buy new clothes that you might need, and to also join a community. We're putting out content like this to help inspire, motivate, and give you that push that you need to go and live the extraordinary life that you can have. So please go to StyleForit.com, join this platform. It's amazing. I'm having a lot of fun on it. I really can't wait to see you on there as well. And lastly, just like be happy, just be happy. It's a new year. So many people have told me recently, they're like, oh, I can't wait for 2018 to end. Ugh. And I'm just like, well, that's an interesting mindset to have. But if that's you, what are we going to do to make 2019 not a kind of year? We got to be happy. Right? We got to be strategic. We got to be intentional. We got to get clear. And we've got to be very purposeful. purposeful about what we say, what we do, who we spend time with, how we live. I cannot get more clear on that, guys. So please be happy, choose happiness, choose to love yourself, choose to be you and do you in the best way possible. And just last minute things, if you don't know what StyleForit is already, go to StyleForit.com. It's the first plus size online consignment dedicated to sizes 12 to 32. Your girl has a shop there. You'll see me shopping on there because I told you, I did not tell you I love shopping. So I like to shop and I like to save money and shop. Like, to me, it's like, woo, win, like double win. Yeah. So I hope you want to win too in the new year. Next, I would love for you to share your ideas for some of the upcoming content that I'm going to be coming here and sharing with you guys. So please give that to me and let's make 2019 an unforgettable year. All right, y'all. So have a happy new year and stay tuned for our next upcoming live. You'll get all the details on facebook.com/StyleForit. So the StyleForit Facebook page. All right. So I appreciate your time. Happy new year. And I'll see you in the new year. All right. Be good. Bye.